I'm like, I don't remember when I was actually trying to get on the shirt right.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Hi Neil, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Very
Kelly,
good.
you're good? Huh?
Is she on mute? Or she is mute.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. The pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll just go around the room here first, and I'll get to the people online. So go ahead.
Monty Miles, board member.
Jake Wills, Public Works.
Christian Lehnert, Public Works.
Jenny Chambers, Public Works.
Stacy Birch, board member.
Judith Ann Vincent, board member.
Dave Birch, board member. Go ahead, Neil. You're muted. Okay, I think you're still muted, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
How about Mike? You're muted too, Mike.
Mike Cobb, board member from Augusta.
Thanks, Mike. Shelley? Well, hopefully we know that she's there. We still got a quorum, so we can go. And then you said Rob was gonna kind of be online.
Rob will not be, but Pete.
Oh, Pete.
Had a meeting right up till 1 and then he said he'd jump
Okay.
on.
Okay, good. No public here, so I guess we can forego that one. And then we'll get into the action items. So the fund 297. So the weed sprayer rental updates, Christian.
Yeah, so for a 200-gallon tank and a 200-gallon saddle to put on there, roughly comes out to $1,230 and some change. That's just to replace the tanks. I was looking for $500-600 extra per unit for additional, for board replacements, for lights, trailer lights, connections, and possible new jack stands on some of them. So it just doesn't take long to spend $500 between that and then additional plumbing parts to plumb in the new tanks. And if I can't use what's existing, or if I try to use what's existing and it's damaged, there's no point to put it back on there. So that's where I got the $2,000 per unit, to just for the financial leeway. If I don't spend it, I'm just gonna spend what I need to spend to accomplish that. So when we have 5 units, so it was roughly $10,000 in refurbishments for the five.
Are those like tires and stuff good too, or?
Well, there might be some tire replacements on some of those too, but those, you're looking like $120 for a tire, so nothing.
Okay. Yeah,
Nothing too crazy.
Like, to me, I guess as long as because we're renting them out, they need to be in tip top shape.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah, paint and get rid of all the rust and stuff too. Like the point was is to
Okay.
really sort of get after them. They're used a lot. A lot of people like to use them, so I don't see that dissipating anytime soon. And after this year with that one breaking, the tank breaking, sort of spurred me to like, I think it's time. I think they've got like 20 years into them, so that's a long time, and they've brought in more revenue than they have, so they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, and we can't have a spill because of
Right.
our fault, because
Yeah.
we have faulty tanks.
Yeah.
It would be a bad deal.
So that's sort of where I came up with those numbers. And like I said, a little over 1,200 of that per unit is just for
The tank.
the new tank and the new saddle, because they're completely different tanks. They're low sump tanks. So that'll be nice for cleaning, because that's a big part of our job when we're doing the rentals. I really don't care if it's nice when other people clean it because it makes it easier for us to clean it, but regardless, they're all triple rinsed and cleaned out by me or our staff before they go out again. So that makes it a lot easier to get going. We have some of them that have a little bit of a problem getting primed because of the way that they're designed and set up. So then it's really hard to clean those ones as well. So as you said, liability reason, we don't want somebody have cordon in a tank and then go out and spray it in a pea field or a milestone and then using it to use Roundup in their 15 acres of, lentils that they had planted before they wanted to plant something else. So anyways, just trying to help.
Okay.
Make sure that we're getting those things cleaned out appropriately and that these tanks will help us accomplish that. So.
Yeah, whatever's easiest and
Yeah.
best for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Way to go, so.
So we're just looking for the budget authority through 297. The weed grant. The WGSCR fund for the $10,000 to budget authority of $10,000, not to exceed $10,000 to refurbish those rentals.
And what is our balance?
That's
Is that this?
over 40,000. It's right at 40,000. It's at 34,683.87.
Okay.
And the new grant is.
And we also have $5,000 in the NDT funds, which we can also use that too. So roughly almost $40,000 in funds.
And we'll have another 7,500 after July, right, or after
Yep.
January, sorry.
Yep.
In
And I-
about March or April.
Yeah, March, April is usually when it comes in, and I actually just submitted that yesterday for the 2025.
The highway funds are still coming in too.
Yep.
right?
Yep, they're coming in, they're pretty consistently right at that $1,700.
Yeah.
It fluctuates from year to year. I don't know, I'm not sure why that is, but we've just going back through it, you can see where but it's all around that 1,700, the sort of the small dollars and the changes, but other than that, it's right around that 1,700, so.
Okay. That's good. So do we need a motion? So I need a motion to.
Yeah, I make a motion that we go ahead and make approve up to $10,000 for repairs of rental sprayers for Christian's group to work on.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anybody online have any discussion or want to say anything about it?
Not for me.
No,
Okay.
maintenance has to happen. That's just all there is to it, so.
Thanks, Shelley. Okay. So all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion passes. So are there any other discussion or suggested purchases for those funds?
I only had a couple questions. One concerning the, do we have to reallocate or add money to the funds that we're using for the tablecloths and the retractable rollers or anything? Do we still have enough money to do all of that from what the department that's coming from?
No, we will need to vote on that, and I think we were going to get. I think you were gonna get quotes on the exact cost for the signs.
Right, right.
Yeah, and so as soon as we have those exact quotes,
Okay,
and
so-
then we can, yeah, put it on the agenda.
Okay, so I should have all of that for our January meeting.
Perfect.
And
Okay.
then we'll have the stuff from Action Print. And then does that also include the rent or the payment for the home show? Is that,
Yes, so the payment for the home show you guys voted on, I believe it was last meeting, maybe the meeting before. But yeah, you guys already approved that payment.
We did,
So,
okay.
Yep, yep, so that is already approved.
okay?
When is that again?
March,
Um,
18th, 20th, it's in around that, it's around that.
It's in the work plan.
Yeah, probably. good.
Is that-
15th, 16th, that's
Right.
close. Ish.
Okay, and then do we have the Southwest trailer rented or asked for?
I do,
Yep.
Okay,
yes.
so that's.
I have it anyways.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
Aren't you the smarty?
Yeah, that's a benefit to storing it for the winter time. I get to keep it.
I see. Okay, so,
But yes, we do have that scheduled through Jill Allen through Jefferson County.
so. And then I think, I don't know if I'm getting back to gloves. I don't know if we need to, if you want to order some more of those gloves. I don't know how many you have.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll double check.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might be doing okay.
And then basically the rolling trailer or the thing I put, the suitcase I put together for for our events, that's basically ready to go, except we need some candy.
Okay, and I think we
So-
do have some of those things
Okay. so I
in
think
our
everything
in our
else
education
deal.
promo drawer stuff. So we got plenty of promo stuff,
Okay.
so.
So can you give me you've done?
Mhm.
Okay, thanks, Jude. What's happening with Department of Ag's education program, the statewide program?
It sounds like Megan Hoyer is running that, but I think it's more global-ish than just weeds. Yeah, I think it's for like an invasive species education program.
I just
So
wondered
it's not a noxious weed education program, it's an invasive,
invasive species.
yeah, so.
I just wondering if they
From
were coming out
hogs
with some
to
different stuff.
mussels to snails to fish to all of it.
Pigs.
Yeah, hogs, yeah. So, but it sounds like they're really investing into that. I think and I still think it's split between I don't want, is it DNRC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still split budgetarily between them and Department of Ag, but it's being housed in over, Jasmine Chafee's the boss, is still the boss, so which is good.
Yeah.
For us, so anyways.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious if they were coming up with some new ideas.
Yeah, I think at this year's,
So,
yeah, it's sort of been, we've already had a couple working at our fall training. We had sort of like a, what do you want to call, like an idea. Like you want to get the temperature and thoughts and ideas of what we need help with and, I can't remember, they call them something special what do they call those with, anyways,
Okay.
but we did that at our fall meeting. And then I think she was looking at doing some stuff at the annual conference to really help. Sort of, cause she's getting to build this thing really sort of how she sort of wants and to meet expectations. And so the more ideas we're able to give her, will definitely be a help to us. But she's working with MISC and those other entities as well, so.
okay, yeah, I was just kind of curious if there's something
Mhm.
else, but I guess at the next meeting or, yeah, probably the next meeting, if you guys could come up with a list of stuff that you're gonna need for promotional items. If there is anything
For
for
the,
like the home show and
Oh,
just
okay.
regular education programs that we're doing and
Okay.
like stuff that Judith Ann might need for.
yeah, we might look into books too, but I think we did like that might be the only thing we might need is our weed ID books. A lot of the other stuff.
Okay.
we're
Yeah,
pretty
because
well
those
in.
gloves at the home show were very, very popular for not only weed people, but gardening people.
Yeah,
At least it gets our name out there.
yeah, no, that's been a big.
And that, are you through? That symposium, that Montana Gardening Symposium, I think, I've been in touch with those people and I think they would like us to be there for that. And then what was the other one I did last year? I can't remember, the one with the kids at the fairground.
Yes, and so I did.
Oh, that was the conservation. That was the conservation.
And I have the trailer already reserved with Jill for that. And then Judith Ann had said it was gonna be April 19th. They just weren't sure on venue yet. But I do have that tentatively in there
Oh, okay.
until we
I
have
did.
more information.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, if we want to
Okay.
move to the work plan, I think some of those are work plan.
Okay, and then the only thing that I might add is that Warriors camp that we had at Cottonwood. They have 4 weeks, they have 4 different groups. But they would like to do a little seminar, and I said I'd be glad to come up and do that
For what
for
was
the
that?
4 weeks. You know, it's only like half an hour.
Okay. What did you call it though?
Oh, it's the.
I heard lawyers.
It's veterans,
Okay.
do you remember?
Oh,
what the name is?
warriors.
Warriors.
Okay, I thought
yeah.
you said lawyers.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No.
I was like, you go for it, girl.
No,
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah,
I-
that's just keep us
Yeah,
updated on that.
okay.
I could definitely go out there and help out with
Okay, so,
30 minutes or so. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Are we
so,
still planning on doing the advertising on the radio again this year? And does that come out of this budget?
We still have,
And it's $2,000.
we still have $2,000 that you guys approved to send out in that, and we still have, trying to think, I believe I'm starting them in March. Again, and the idea was to talk about cheatgrass in March, you know, hopefully there's snow on the ground still. So that way we can start to get that word out there, and we are gonna have it go through. When was it? Was it May? I think it was through May that they would do that. They have talked to us about renewing another contract. But that might be something for us to bring probably February or March, so that way we can see what they have for costs and stuff. That was sort of our thought on the March one was, radio ad costs, if that's something you guys still want to, pursue. We've had really good, I think that seems to be one of the, better forms. We've had a lot of people come in and talk to us about that. We're getting a phone call probably once or twice a week just off of, you know, hey, heard your, your ad on the radio, excuse me. How do I take care of my weeds, you know, even if it is to help them take care of dandelions, it doesn't really matter, but still good promotional and good help for all of them. So it's at least being heard.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I am wondering if maybe starting it a little sooner might be better. Just because, you know, your farmers and ranchers are, you know, by April, some of them are already out in the field getting stuff done and whatnot. And cheatgrass has been coming on, you know, at my house early, unless there's literally snow on the ground, and you just never know how the year's gonna go, but it just seems
Okay.
like, people are not having as much, going on, in the dead of winter, maybe they'll think about that and have a plan before summer comes along. Just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're thinking more like a February or mid-February?
Yeah.
Maybe start putting those ads in, cause we bought so
Yeah.
many ad days. You know what I mean, kind of thing, and we can certainly. Nothing's set in stone with the radio company, they don't really care, they'll make it work. If we do start it earlier, we might wanna work on getting a new contract set up sooner if we started earlier.
So you still have at least what? At
It's
least
like
a
8
month
weeks, it's
8
like 8
weeks.
weeks.
Of ads
Yeah,
available.
yeah, with like two
Okay.
or three ad days a week. You know,
Okay,
I like yeah,
well, we can revisit it in January
okay,
to
Yep.
see kind of how the winter is going.
yeah,
And
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
sounds good.
go from there. But I guess one of the reasons I question about if anybody has any ideas, not that I want to spend all that money, but that's a lot of money to be carrying over. There's gonna be a push to increase what the counties get through legislative in 2025. So depending on how that all works out, I've worked with Amy Adler a little bit. She's kind of driving it. But there could be substantial money coming back to the weed districts.
That's like 15K, isn't it?
Yeah, at least.
A
So-
year.
So, like I say, it's not that I want to spend it all, but when legislators start looking at how much money is still out there, does a weed district need it? That's gonna be one of the key huge
Yeah, and our
questions.
34K is sitting in the bank isn't gonna be
Yeah,
real helpful for the other counties that could,
yeah, and who knows about the other counties? I know some of them are in the same boat. I mean, they have extra funds because they don't spend it either.
Yeah, they're saving to purchase
Right.
big
Truckers,
items, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, let's just keep a close eye on that, and then also by next meeting, I should have a draft of that bill out. Because the legislature starts next month. But so we'll see where that bill goes. It's kind of a wing and a prayer type thing, but we'll see how it turns out.
I think it's like the third time.
Chairman, also just for note, I'll talk to Jane and Christian, but maybe for the January meeting. So 34K, the way I look at this reconciliation budget, doesn't show the money you guys have already obligated. So I don't think there's 34K available
Right.
because you already just went through a list of about 5 things that you say we already have funds set aside for that.
Yeah, we'll
So
have to
we
set
need to
that up.
make sure that you guys are aware of what you've already obligated. That might not be expended yet. That's gonna impact that overall cash balance. So try to outline that a little bit more.
Yeah,
Because between the Department of Ag grants and the Department of Transportation, we're looking at another $9,000 coming in, over $9,000, so. Or close to it, so. But yeah, if we could get a
well,
side note with the
Yeah.
funds expended or already approved for expenditure.
Yep.
And I do have that listed out in my spreadsheet, so I will just make sure and email that, and then moving forward, I'll also put it on
Okay,
this, so
yeah,
that you guys always can see that, so.
Excellent, okay. Because, I mean, if there's things that we can do to promote or to bolster what we're trying to get done here, I think that's, let's do it, you know? But, okay, so I guess we kind of went into it a little bit, but, the work plan 2025. You guys online have this? Do they have this?
I emailed it.
Okay, so it should be in your email if you don't have it in front of you, but.
And off to the right-hand side, I just put just stuff that doesn't necessarily pertain to us, but it is part of the weed
Sure.
world, so, that's in the black on the right-hand side, and then on the left are our meetings, and then I just kind of followed the last couple of years, what we've done. But I'm happy to add anything in or take anything out, whatever works for everyone.
So is, in looking at it, I think it all looks good. The annual convention is coming along pretty well, so I think it'll be a good turnout for that. I guess my only question on this one, could we move the greenhouse discussion up into the April board meeting?
Oh. Will that be okay? It's the budget meeting as well. Should we just allot for a little extra time?
I don't think
or
the
what?
budget, I don't think the budget presentation has to be on April 2nd, otherwise we have to have a special meeting, but we can, yeah, he just talked about the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just think that if we're gonna, it'd be nice to have that up and running and everything going, and if you guys need something instead of last second, we can do it at the April one.
Yeah, I agree.
That brownstone should be a foot high by May.
Excuse me, what day is the annual meeting convention?
The 28th through the 30th in Great Falls, January 28th through the 30th. Becky said that they had something like 31 people already registered. They've got 4 big donors already on board, so that'll help. But it should be good. They're just putting the final touches on the agenda, so it should be out here shortly. I mean, the work plan is kind of a working document anyway, so if we have something come up, we can always.
Yeah, these are just big hit items that, so that we don't forget about them, and we're able to keep humming along.
Sure. Does anybody have any ideas, questions, comments on the work plan?
I had a question on the budget requests. So if we were thinking of getting involved in more biocontrol, that's going to cost some money, right? They're not just going to hand us a bunch of bugs, are they?
That would
Or-
sort of be. If you wanted to do it through general fund dollars, yeah, we'd want to talk about that now, but if you're using 297 funds. That's just sort of, that's a discussion on you guys on whether you wanna purchase that, but we do go out and. Collect, as Melissa says, the big 3, you know, toad flax, spurge and spotted knapweed. So
Yeah.
we do 80 to 100 releases every year between all those in Lewis and Clark County. I mean, we've done quite a few. That there's not very many places I go where there's not biocontrol.
I just wondering too on that if. I guess maybe we should put that in one of the radio ads about biocontrol.
Yes, we could certainly do that. That would be a good one for like April.
Yeah.
Cause that's when we really start to.
I mean, if you guys are already doing 100, that's pretty good, but as long as there aren't people out there still wanting them and we don't have any.
Yeah,
And maybe that's where Mike was coming from, that if we needed to purchase some or. Get something from Melissa a little bit more,
yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Okay,
I,
go ahead.
does do the weed departments Are they doing anything in the legislature besides is there any bills that they're working on with somebody?
As far as I know, no.
Oh,
The
okay.
only one that I know of is this one, and it's coming from. It's really not coming from the weed districts, it's coming from MWCA and the representative that she's got, or the senator that she's got in her area, so. It'll be, I mean, there probably will be other things come up, but I haven't heard of any.
Oh,
I haven't heard of anything either.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go into staff reports, Christian.
You guys wanna vote on that, or is this something we're voting on?
We should vote on it, just to have it voted on.
Okay.
With the change of moving the greenhouse to April 2nd and the understanding that we can add and take away as it is a working document, but we should.
Okay, so I need a motion for that effect.
I
Yeah.
move. We do
Second
this.
There's a second?
It might,
Oh, Mike, thanks. Both moved and seconded to approve the 2025 annual work plan with some corrections and additions. So any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Thank you. Motion passed. Okay. Go ahead, Christian.
just some of the things we've been working on here, we currently still have a MOU or work, interlocal agreement. Sort of going through that process with East Helena. We have one in place for Helena. So that's good. We've been working through that. Hopefully, we have it in plan for all next year. So I got like smack dab right in the middle of spring season. So we're able to help them in small capacity this next year, hopefully a little bit larger capacity. I'll probably start pinging the East Helena a little bit just to maybe keep things moving along. We have Fish, Wildlife and Parks. They're wanting to renew the contract to do the fishing accesses throughout Lewis and Clark County. Going through that. This year, or last year and this year, Department of Defense didn't want anybody spraying the missile silo sites. I think they were trying to figure out how to do it a different way. This fall, they reached out and asked if we would be willing to take care of the ones in Lewis and Clark County. So we had sort of an MOA in place. Jenny and I reviewed it, sent it back for them with some of the edits and stuff on our side, and we're just waiting for it to come back here. So, yeah, that's sort of a neat one. But it works out real good. We get to spray. Some of that includes spraying we get paid to spray our own county roads in some of those places. So, which they help give us gravel too, to gravel them to get to those sites. So it's sort of a pretty cool working relationship with them. We get to go throughout the whole county and take care of all those. There's 11 of them.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, how many do we have on this?
I think there's 10 or 11 of them. Plus they still have some additional areas they're not missile sites, but they're still Department of Defense sites. But yeah, so that's been just working through that, waiting on that. Finished up our reports. A lot of the end of reports, billings, for billing too, for MDT, some of our other projects. We have for here, we submitted our Department of Ag, but the grants reports for Lehnert Fort, as well as our special county grant. They had to all be turned in last month. We got that all taken care of. Still even been getting a few complaints And even at this time of the year, doesn't help when there's not snow on the ground. So, but just to let everybody know, we do still file those complaints and do just sort of get put in the cash. And they get started next spring when we get Alex back. Still getting a couple, I think we had 3 new weed management plans come through, for small developments. So we got a couple in East Helena and then one up off of Green Meadow, and then we get just some for, storage units, storage facilities, or, we've even been getting some for even smaller projects. Other than that, we did some Forest Service reports for Middleman and Beaver Creek. Still working on getting together with Tracy with the Forest Service on the Horse Gulch fire and how they plan to mitigate that. I did hear that they should have done some seeding this fall, so hopefully some of that got done. Hyder seeding project, unfortunately, I didn't get to that project out on the landfill. It didn't end up really becoming a weather thing. It was just a delay in getting the product. So until weather did become an issue.
You do that in the spring then?
Yeah, we'll do that in the spring. I'm hoping to get out there in the spring where we can do that. Hopefully it's not too muddy out there. But and then I think some of it too, they needed to get some of their project finished on some of it too. So anyways, it's about almost 4 acres worth of hyder seeding. So we'll be a busy crew for probably a good week trying to get that all taken care of. Radio ads ended in October. Just planned about starting them up in early spring again. Maybe even late winter, so we can really hammer our cheatgrass stuff. I think that's something that we should do this spring, late summer or late winter. Other than that, just other stuff that doesn't pertain to weeds. Lots of mosquito stuff we've been trying to work through, so.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I got to report.
Does the city have a new person yet or not for
For,
weeds or for parks and recs or whatever that person is?
they have not done anything with the weeds. It's all on every single, department is responsible for all their weeds, stormwater, open space, parks, roads.
You gotta work with everybody.
All of them, yeah. So, but the thing is that the interlocal agreement was with the city, so it was approved by,
Tim Burton, the
Tim Burton.
chief administrative
yeah,
officer.
so it was through them, but yeah, landfill or, the transfer station, like I gotta work with all of them as individual divisions or departments.
Okay, any questions or comments for Christian? Okay.
I had a question, Christian,
Go
on
ahead,
your-
Mike.
the cheatgrass. Has there been any good reports on is it a bacteria or a fungus that you put out in the fall time or something?
That sort of, none of that stuff has really got pushed through. A lot of that stuff ended up being like an EPA approval. So, even through the state, I think Dave I think at your last year, did you have to shut some of that down and like Ravalli County had to like give a bunch of it back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, that just never ended up going through. They sort of jumped the gun and tried to put that in the state before they had all the, licensing taken care of. And then after that fiasco, it never really went anywhere. I think the data sort of showed, the data didn't really show how that it ended up not being as effective as they were saying too. So, and then Esplanade or Rejuvra sort of came out and I think sort of just pushed them, my opinion, sort of pushed that out of the way, so.
So another question on the cheatgrass. I mean, I keep hearing you guys talking about spring applications or work on it. I mean, typically cheatgrass, I mean, that's germinating in the fall. I mean.
Yeah, it's a
the
winter annual grass.
Conferences I've been to said, get that stuff under control. September, early October.
Yeah,
And get a product down, prevent germination. It's an annual.
yeah, that's where a lot of that stuff comes with the Rejuvra, is to get it down in September, even before it even gets cold.
Mhm.
So when it's dry, you wanna put it down and then hopefully put it down before a rainstorm. Before you get like a fall rainstorm to come through, to get that to settle. In some of the stuff, there's just, a lot of people are so busy in the fall, farmers and ranchers, that they're not really spraying. A lot of times they have a little bit better opportunity in the springtime to get out there and do stuff, but like you're spraying almost, well, it's sort of freezing and stuff too. But yeah, you're trying to get that winter annual grass in the early spring, late winter, before all your perennial grasses before start growing. Cheatgrass is the first thing to germinate and grow, so you can get out there with a non-selective like glyphosate and hammer it out without damaging any of your desirable vegetation, and but then you sort of just a one shot and you're sort of done and it's sort of taken care of.
I was surprised the cheatgrass, even on my own property. I was like, this fall, I'm like, that stuff really came out because it was like into August. It was the first part of September. It was all coming up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
Yeah, fall has always been, I think, actually one of the best times to spray for most weeds in general, especially for perennial weeds, and then, for your winter annual grasses, your invasive winter annual grasses, that fall time's also a good time too.
Keep in mind when you have a large scale infestation that it's going to take multiple years and multiple springs. And you can reduce that if you're able to do a spring and fall for a couple of years instead of it taking, 5-10 years. You can cut it down to, 3-4 years if you can hit it in both times. But with cheatgrass, as he was saying, I mean, I'm looking at my place and the cheatgrass isn't here right now. And usually this time of year, I still have green from the cheatgrass. But I know that come spring, it's going to be the first thing that pops the instant the snow is coming off. So there's a couple of different ways to look at it and how you manage your place depending on what your particular scenario is. So
Moisture, obviously the biggest driving force in all weeds, or is our moisture.
Now, if we go fall regrowth, if you don't have moisture, you don't see it. It just pops up in the spring. Anyway, all right, thank you.
Okay, Jenny.
I don't have a lot for you guys today. We're just in between seasons. This time of year, we do a lot of regroup on fiscal year's budget and then planning for fiscal year 25. So, well, most departments have their worksheets through the departments, and we start gathering information and putting together our budget request for next fiscal year. So that we're ready to get that presented to the commissioners in May usually, but our work has to be done probably March, April in order to get the budget presentations and stuff prepared for that May timeframe. So that's what we've been busy doing across multi-public works. We are gonna be down starting next fiscal year. We've got 4 vacancies, mainly in the road department. This month I've got 3 staff retiring and 1 staff that's moving to Great Falls. So that's 2 equipment operators, 1 construction coordinator, and a construction coordinator in the RID world. So that's a lot of our workforce, which we only have 9 equipment operators anyway in the Helena area. So being down 2 is gonna impact us. The bridge, luckily in the winter time, the bridge crew is available to go help with snow removal. and snow plowing, because they're not doing as much work on the bridges and the culverts and the ditch work. So we should be okay as long as we get the positions filled this spring. So if we don't, depending upon applications out there, we might move the hurting next year as well. So they're all posted. We'll let folks know the county's got positions open if you hear of anybody. And we'll just get those positions filled as soon as possible. And under that same discussion on snow removal, if you guys recall, I don't know if we've mentioned in the past, but with the COVID issues and then the surplus, the issue on trying to get equipment and stuff on hand, we were successful to get our procurement done for the snow plows. We had to replace 1994s, 1995, 1996 snow plows. We actually had early purchase approval for some of those from the commissioners. We got them ordered, but with the supply chain issues and getting cabin chassis of the size we need to build our snow plows, they were delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. We finally got our 4 last year. They got built in Conrad, Shoto, and we have 2 new ones in place. So we're getting ready to get rid of the old ones, and the 2 ones will come next month. So it's probably been a 4-year effort for our fleet management and our shop folks to track those, get them through those vendors, actually get them here in Montana, actually get all the material and pieces built, the sander boxes, the plows and everything built on those. So we're in really good shape on that end. One of them, we're gonna issue a notice of intent to surplus and sell to East Helena, one of the old ones from 94. So it'll be a benefit to the taxpayers of Lewis and Clark County. Because it's going to another government entity that the same citizens that pay taxes in the county will also get a benefit from that older equipment that's in still decent shape. That we're able to help them out on that end. And then we're talking a little bit with Jefferson and Broadwater County. If they might be interested as our neighboring counties for those other ones before we just go out to auction or surplusing those. So we'll see how that shakes out too over the next couple of months. So that's really good news. So we got plenty of good equipment now. Just need a couple more people to operate those. And once we get that filled, we'll be in good shape, but we'll be covered for the winter, which is good.
So
Appreciate that.
you just put out the notices for employment then? Or-
Yeah, yep, pretty much within the last week to 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you get some good candidates. Speaking of like highway department, they were hiring, I don't know how many. That was crazy.
Yeah, we've done a little bit better than some of the MDT. Well, then some of those are pretty remote locations and stuff too.
Okay, good. Any questions for Jenny or? Okay, good. Candace is not with us. So
And Chairman, just to remind you, the commissioners, they rotate board assignments. Each year they'll make a decision in December, kind of what that looks like for the January. January is their changeover on who's the chairman, who's the vice chair, who's the member. And then they kind of rotate which boards they represent for the next year. So I don't know if they're gonna keep it the same. Sometimes they keep it the same, sometimes they change it. As soon as we know, we'll share that with you guys on who the next commissioner is gonna be for this week, for the week district.
good. Yep, appreciate that. Okay. Any other questions or comments for Jenny? Okay, good. Thanks, Jenny. Stacy.
Oh, well, weed spraying's done for the season, obviously, but, you know, I think it was, nice. We had in our spray day up in Canyon Creek, it was nice to have the, BLM employees come up there and help assist with some of that weed mitigation. I've kept an open line of communication with Kevin Sheridan. And hopefully we will be able to hit some of the problem areas on the BLM properties in that Marysville country, because they get a lot of complaints from the folks up there said, you know, I'm trying to do my thing, but look on the other side of the fence, all that BLM, it's just crazy. And knapweed is primarily the biggest issue they have right in and around town. So I'll be working with Kevin or trying to get him prompted to spend some time in that area. And I know he's stretched pretty thin because he's, you know, from here down into the big hole, just all over in his area, you know, being dispatched out of Butte. But anyway, so hopefully we can make some progress there. And then again, I would like to see the board members, individually try to come up with an area of a focus area, you know, I mean, something that they can work on or assist, maybe not personally spraying, but you know, something that they could monitor, track, and whether the county's doing it, the work, or you've got individuals in a group like, you know, Judith Ann and her neighborhood, you know, something that we could all do and just give us a little more skin in the game, if you will. Just a thought, you know, and then, you know, obviously we report back and say, hey, this is what we did. This was our great day. This is what we accomplished. I mean, I think everybody working up there, you know, felt pretty good about the day. You know, the smaller property owners that had 20 acres or whatever, they all, you know, helped out along the road and, just got some stuff done. So it's a benefit for everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Stacy, I got an email from, Kevin saying that he, put in for some funding for weed work in Lewis and Clark County. He's not guaranteed it, but they call it a NOFO. What,
Mm,
can you give me?
Notice
of
Funding,
financial.
yeah. So it's another word, put in money for some, to help out with some weed management in Lewis and Clark County. Now, I don't know how much he put in for, you know, or how much he's gonna get, or if he's gonna get any, but, if he does get that, that'd be pretty awesome. We just have to obviously take that and go through the BOCC to get the thumbs up to allow that money to funnel through us and see what obligations we have to use that money, too. Some of that money has, attachments to it, you know what I mean? So that kind of thing. So, you know, whether or not we have to pitch in so many dollars or whatever,
A match.
a match or something like that. So
Well,
anyways, we'll see. I just let you know that you said that's something that's sort of on the.
Does that may or may not have to be used on BLM or adjacent to BLM?
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know his email was just sort of, I got money. It's good to have partnerships and work with the counties. I'm not gonna be able to accomplish my job without your guys' help, you know, so like we gotta help each other out, which is, he's correct. And so I just don't know what obligations we have to that money if it comes through and such. So what match dollars or whatever, but,
Well,
anyways.
I mean, one of the things like working with DNRC over the years, if they've got logging projects going on, a lot of times, you know, the weed mitigation takes place on that state property, but if they're hauling logs, the log trucks are going out, I mean, they might be 6, 8, 10 miles away from, you know, the pavement or, you know, where they're coming down. Part of that project or that money that was set aside is to do the roadside spraying all the way into the project. That's what we've done.
Yeah, that's my middleman route,
Yeah.
my middle route.
And with
Project.
all the logging that's going on up there on the BLM properties up in Marysville, I mean, I think that, you know, they're getting some money set aside to do some of that. I mean, they're coming all the way down into Marysville from up on top of the backside of the ski hills, so.
Yeah,
And Kevin and I were up there on that BLM property this fall, just trying to get a handle on it because we know it's gonna be more than the logging, the slash piles, the burnings. I mean, it's gonna get ugly. So
Yeah.
it is much as we can get on top of it, you know, and of course, I'm up there donating big time to help out because it, you know, it just is something that I feel is important to get ahead of it because I've seen other areas down in the Long Gulch area that just blew up and it's terrible. Anyway.
Good. Okay. I kind of already said what I was gonna say about the weed association coming up, the meeting coming up. I would get on there. If you guys are gonna attend, get on and register and get everything in motion and, because you guys sent in the registration fees for
Yep.
us. for the MWCA, so that's good. Any legislation that comes up, I'll let you guys know, but that's the only piece that I've heard of so far is trying to get more money come back from to the counties, and they actually did a little more than just the counties. The money that they're talking about coming from is a new wind farm or a wind energy bill that they're talking about, kind of like with the coal trust. We're gonna do an energy trust. And if we get money off of that, then a percentage will come back to the MWCA, where they will dish it out to, part of it goes to Department of Ag, and then the rest, I guess it doesn't go to MWCA, it goes to Department of Ag. And then a portion of that will come back to the counties, and they're not sure whether just straight to the counties or if they'll run through like the $7,500 grant. That $7,500 grant is at the discretion of the director of the Department of Ag, so it's nothing legislative wise. So the department can change that as they see fit, but it's always been going up over the last 20 years, so we'll see where that all leads to, I guess. Be kind of a complicated bill, but we'll see how it comes out, so. But that's the only one that I've heard of so far this year. I'm sure there's gotta be more coming, but we'll see when it gets here. Hey, Pete's not here. Did he send in a report or anything? Okay. Mike?
Just throw this out for discussion. I like what Judith said on the legislature. Who do we go for? Is anybody going to do any bills? And Dave's going to be watching. But we just went through a political season, and I was at another meeting, and I do say on the war on weeds, we have people out spraying, private individuals, the weed district, and we're trying to educate the younger generation. The biggest thing I don't see what we're missing is the recreationists. And I mean, and once again, I'm talking about like a big billboard or an ad on local news stations every night that says, pick the damn weed when you're out recreating. And if you could get the public really involved when they go out recreating, I think we'd make a big headway. Right now, it's left up to the private individuals in the county, and like what I see on this benchmark road, we're getting a lot of public that don't belong in this county that are just going up the road and being a part of the weed problem instead of stopping the weeds. And so it'd be great if it's kind of the legislature season's already in motion, so I don't know if it's possible to get the government to try to educate the public to get out there and go after the weeds, because we're doing all we can, but I think we need more help.
Guess that's something we could bring up to Megan.
Yeah.
As far as invasive species go, the whole gamut of them, I mean. But if there is gonna be a state program, then that state program could get a much better rate on putting billboards out. We did that with the 4-H program and it worked out pretty well. So we could talk to Megan about that and see if we can't get, because some of that money that I was just talking about through legislature will go back to the Invasive Species Council too, for grants and stuff. So there may be some funding available for that type of stuff.
Yeah, and the last couple of years, they've really been focused on the aquatic invasive species, and I think that's getting a lot of traction.
Yeah.
You know, on the public discussion, so yeah, I just need to change that a little bit to be other invasive species, and it is not just only aquatic, but others, and yeah, people do recreate quite a bit out there, and they could probably get more bang for your buck if you were able to educate those folks.
Yeah, they educated the public really good on the boats, you're right, so.
Yep.
If they could do that when they got on the trails, that would be great.
One of the things that you could that we could all look at potentially taking part in is talking to the mountain bike shops and talking to the ATV shops and talking to the feed and seed stores and things like that, and giving out pamphlets anytime anybody buys horse feed or a new ATV or a new bike or something like that, that gives people like the land ethics and how to keep weeds from spreading weeds and things like that. Could also post it at trailheads. I know that the Forest Service and BLM were doing that for a while. I don't know where their funding is for that kind of thing, as everybody's funding is getting cut. But those kind of things do help as well. Something to think about that wouldn't cost a ton of money.
Great idea.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Mike. Shelley, you have anything?
Whoops, sorry, no, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Rob didn't send anything.
Rob does have something. He says, I'll be in Missoula all week for a trial. My report is we need snow to cover the weeds. Merry Christmas to all.
We'll put that order in for him.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just want to say, as an outdoor enthusiast, I spent a lot of time out in the woods. I'm doing my share, bringing hound stung in. Okay, I get that stuff all over me.
Yeah.
Pick it off, bag it, throw it away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been terrible.
okay, thanks. Monty,
I spent the past month going through a lot of the plant pathology literature, looking at biocontrol. And the mainly we're focusing on Russian thistle and Canadian thistle. The Canadian thistle rust biocontrol program has probably got a really good payoff based on the research. I don't know about the last one that hasn't been published, but it's all going to go nowhere if we can't get APHIS and EPA to settle their turf war so that we can get registration to actually use the products. Most places with the Canadian thistle, even if you don't see a reduction in plant number, you see a reduction in viability. So plant size, reproductive rate, all these other things. But we can't control it if we can't put the plant pathogen out there. The same with the Russian thistle. There's several things that look like they'd work in combination, but we can't do any work with them until we get EPA and APHIS to figure out who's going to be in charge of the program.
Yeah. And I guess just to make it easier to understand is APHIS is viewing it as a biocontrol agent. EPA is trying to say it's a herbicide. And they're fighting over who has regulatory authority over this mode of action on these plants.
Yeah, and EPA has a history of trying to overreach when it comes into the biocontrol herbicide issue. They've been doing that for 20 years.
So anyways, yeah.
so I guess it might change a little bit after the new administration comes in.
Maybe.
If somebody pushes,
Yeah.
if we get the word to the right places and start pushing so that we can actually get some action.
I wonder if,
Who do we push?
that's what I was trying
Your
to think.
state congressmen
Yeah.
and senators, I would say, and try to get it from, my recommendation would be to get it from the state regulatory agency that this is important to Montana. Versus coming from the local governments across the board, so if you can get Department of Ag's ear. And then the change of the administration. And then maybe.
Yeah, I
Do we
think.
write
farmer-
letters?
You could write a letter. As a weed district, you could send a letter to your congressmen and senators at the federal level.
Would you want to draft one?
I can draft one.
I want you to draft one and then we can look at it at the next meeting and.
Drop two.
Two, one nice and. And I like,
You guys could choose to sign it as the lead district, or if you wanted to elevate it, you could recommend the draft to the Board of County Commissioners, and I could present it to them to see if they would be willing to sign
Okay,
it.
I think that's the route we'll go first.
You know, so
If
just.
they won't do it, then we can do it
Right.
as a weed
Right.
board.
Right.
and getting the Montana Department of Ag involved
Exactly.
Yeah,
initially.
you should CC them on the letter, I think, if it came from the district.
We'll just go all the way around the deal.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll
that's what
start
you have to do.
MCA, we'll start here and go there to the MCA and then the agriculture and then.
The big problem with that one is that it's not that it can't get approved. It's two entities saying who gets to approve it. It's not like the Houndstone bug,
Right.
which is like, no, like. Monty's trying to say is like, this is sort of actually gone through all the steps. And it's there for them to be like, rubber stamp it for them to use it.
Just decide who
And
can
now
do it.
their APHIS was gonna do it and the EPA was like, whoa, this is our deal, not yours, kind of thing. So that's sort of where we're at. So,
Yeah.
which sort of sucks, cause it's another tool in a toolbox that isn't really full of very many tools anymore. Weed mitigation doesn't have as many
Who's
tools as it used to be, that we used to have, and could be a really big help to us, cause you know, Canadian thistle doesn't grow exactly in the greatest places for herbicide.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, this could be a really big game changer for us in Montana where it's difficult for us to do it.
Yeah, I know they haven't done it for years, but there used to be, and they've changed it quite a bit. But from 2002 and prior to my being at Department of Ag, we used to go back to DC every year and talk to our congressman and senator and talk to the agency officials, because they would come in for education purposes. So I think keeping Department of Ag, you know, I can talk to Jasmine about it a little bit, since she's a state weed coordinator. And let her talk to Christie, who's the Director of Department of Ag, just so they have a heads up that it might be coming through. And try to get those guys, I'm sure they'll be on board, and if they are gonna have some kind of a meeting back in DC where they can actually go back and do that, then they need to be on board with it to go back there and talk to those people about it, so. I think it's really a good idea to do that, try to get that type of thing going again, but.
Yeah. Mr. Chair,
Sure.
just a quick reminder, this room is reserved at 2:15
Okay,
for another meeting.
okay, we're about done, so. Okay, thanks, Monty. Neil,
Hello, everybody. I don't have anything in particular to add, although I would like to support the idea of board members getting as involved as they can. We're all busy, I know, and gosh, even if it's only 10 hours or so a summer, I've been putting in anywhere from 20 to 40 hours about the last 5 years, mostly in the Mount Extension area, which, to be honest, some of that spills into Jefferson County. Not always sure I know which county I'm in, but it feels good. You know, it's exercise, and I mostly just pull up musk thistle, and when there's big patches of mullein, I do that too. But the musk thistle is a real problem. I don't want to go on too long, but I also like the idea of more flyers or going out to bike shops and RV centers. I know that the Prickly Pear Land Trust has a few signs out there at trailheads that says pull your share. And I think they're referring to knapweed mostly, but yeah, I'm all for more community engagement. And as Jenny said, you know, we need to focus. I think it was Jenny, we need to focus more on more than just the aquatic plants. So I guess that's my piece for this time.
thank you, Neil. Judith Ann.
Yes. Anyway, what did I do with that? So these are the packets that I did for the board, for the past board members. And I did the one for Larry Hoffman. I think there were 10 of them. I don't have a phone number to get a hold of Tommy Thompson. I don't know if anybody does.
I have to look.
Yeah, I do somewhere.
You do? Okay, if you do, I'd appreciate it, because I have nothing.
I have his brother's.
His home number is not listed. Okay, so that was that. And then I had a copy which we can go into in January, never mind. We have one set of hats on order at Precision. They're not back yet. They're not in yet. Everybody's got their jackets, so that's good. I haven't finished getting the contacts for all the sponsors for the Royal retractable roll-ups. I'll get that done and have that for January. The retractables are about $150, and then the 6-foot tablecloths with the legs in them, those are $160, and the 8-foot are $260. So those, depending on what tables we have,
Yeah.
6 or 8 or whatever, we could do that. I'd love for everybody to get their bio in. Everybody get your bio in so that everybody knows what everybody, how everybody got where they are to get to the point where we're at now.
And submit those to Jade, please.
Yes, yes. Okay, and so then, I'm still working a little bit, trying to get my organized, but anyway, contact with the Lincoln Rodeo Grounds, and so that's in the process. And that's pretty much all for me.
Thank you. Discussion for next meeting. So if you look at your bylaws, Judith Ann, if you're willing to take over the chairmanship, you can move into that position.
Or
And
do you
we'll-
want to keep it?
If you don't want to be the chairman, then we'll have to vote on a new chairman. And or vice chairman. If you want to stay vice, you could stay vice. But I'd be more than willing to stay in the role if you want me to.
Okay.
That's not a big deal for me.
I'm not very good at it.
Okay. So we
And
can
you have
discuss,
all the contacts. I don't know anybody.
and we can discuss that at the next meeting,
Okay.
a little bit further in depth. Again, bylaw issues, we could talk about that, but I haven't seen any other than the one that I talked about last time, so
Yeah, we just have a few,
grammatical. errors.
yeah. Grammatical,
Yeah.
that's it.
Um,
And we can certainly schedule more time for the January meeting because it'll be pretty robust,
And I already.
pretty robust.
I already did.
okay,
so,
good.
yeah.
So,
And then we really don't have time to get into anything else, but the next meeting is January 8th because the regular scheduled one is the 1st and I don't plan on being here. So,
yeah, we can certainly all come here
The gate will be
and
locked.
have champagne
Yeah.
or something.
yeah. Okay, so we'll be here the 8th, and then if you guys have anything for discussion for the next meeting, get it to Jade via email, and then we can go that route, so. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for coming on the Zoom conference. Nice to have you there. Wish you could be here in person, but I understand, so no big deal. And I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion, you adjourn this second.
Okay, we're done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
What do you need?
Thank you.
Good, Dan.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.